good morning and welcome to Juzhno-Sakhalinsk on the island of Sakhalinsk here in Russia. It is the final individual day of the World Para-Alpine Skiing World Cup. Something special tomorrow though. Let's enjoy the slalom today. Yes, indeed. Slalom today, giant slalom yesterday. Today's action, a few less names on the start list. The beautiful, beautiful town of Sakhalin being covered in sunlight as we speak. It's a beautiful morning, cold. No need to whack it out of the park with a shovel. Just do what our race director Angi's doing. We'll take a look at the course and weather conditions a little bit later on. We'll have a look at the starting lineups as well. Everything has been prepared, even if it wasn't right the first time. That one wants changing, she says. Lydia Fliegel getting herself ready for her venture into the VI program. What do you reckon? That one's okay? Yeah, be fine. Shots from earlier on in the setup. The athletes allowed to do their course inspection. That's what we look like right now. No women's sitting today. Minimal entries into the men's sitting as well. And a few absentees noticeably from the women's and men's standing run. Four runners making a start. Gate poles instead of actual gate posts today. The flagged gates displaced the starting poles. The much more technical aspect of alpine skiing. Weaving and manoeuvring inside and back out, making sure not to miss any of the allotted gate poles. Big run this, sign him up. So whilst the four runners are out on course, behind the scenes, it's all about the team effort. Everybody has a role, whether it is to check the minute detail of the skis, whether it's the strength and conditioning coaches, team captains, and of course the athletes themselves. Aerial shot of the entirety of the course. You can just see above the line that says production, the little blue tent right at the top of the mountain. They'll drop down out towards the left hand side of that red fencing, then down at a right angle until about the middle of the screen, as it would be right now. That is the run for today. Inya Smith in the background, just getting herself focused. One of three athletes in the women's standing. Slightly different attire for some of the athletes. These to protect against the poles as they manoeuvre through them. And manoeuvre through them at speed. A large amount of the Russian athletes that are here are going to compete. He's minus 12, I know that, because it was about minus 15 when I walked up into the commentary box, so he has warmed up a little bit with the sun coming out. Some 69 gates to navigate in a 203-metre section. Both the athletes in the women's VI representing Russia, 2 in the women's standing, 2 in the men's VI, and 3 in the men's standing as well. Would have been 4 in the men's standing. Bugayev had a rather freak accident a few days ago that put end to his season. Schmidt, Voronchikina and Gohorasheva. That's the women's standing. Laurie Stevens deciding to take a day off, so no women's sitting today. Men's VI, Frantsev, Kochibov, Herreros, Kubacka, Bertagnoli. There is Mosova and Fliegel. Also, Voronchikina and Korosheva. So, a group of athletes bunching together, taking in their final instructions. Barbara Voronchikina with a victory yesterday. That giant slalom, very enjoyable indeed. You can see a look at how the course will go, which was taken a little while back. Slightly different path to normal as we have this week. This run prepared and readied purely for slalom. See how much they have to work to get from left to right at times. We are indeed ready to go. Yulia Mosova, 23 years of age. Her guide, Denis Perevoshchikov. the first day she competed here in Sakhalin. She's done pretty well that first outing. All after a handful of gates. Wasn't the start to life in Sakhalin that she would have wanted. Since then, Mosova and Perevoschikov have done all right. As with the giant slalom, it's a two-run event, so your 2 times combined. Again, for the VI athletes, a factored time based on their impairment. These athletes are classified as B3, so the highest in the category of visual acuity, down to B1, where their impairment would suggest they have very little vision, so their goggles are blacked out to suit. Here, Mosova will get to the line in 1:27.34. This is Lydia Eagle. With her guide Alexei Mayorov.
Yep.
Inside Mosova's time, 0.78. So it's a steady start for Fliegel. The 28-year-old from Moscow. Now showing is still inside, 0.69 the difference. Can she hang on to this lead? She's slowed in this section, but more to steady and follow the instructions of the guide through those headset microphones. You can hear, with the microphones out on the course, you can actually hear the instructions being given in patches by the guide. It's simple as it seems. It's a tricky old exercise, all about trust and to the line. Yeah, she was slowing. Mosova will take this one. 1:33.83 in the end is the time I have in front of me. 1:33.83, 1.75 seconds back, despite leading several times. But that was the big one. That was the big slide. Did well to stay on course. But Fliegel will know the second run. If she can perfect it, she has a chance. So those times for the athletes that have exactly the same time factor, 1:27.34 for Mosova, 1:29 is what's been given for Fliegel. Standing athletes getting ready. Ina Smith getting herself ready for the women's standing event. Schmidt, Vronchikina and Gohorasheva. No Mani Bochet. There is a parallel event tomorrow. We'll explain more to you about that when we go on air around about 1 o'clock local time tomorrow. So make sure you join us. The qualifying in the morning not being covered, but once we get into the heats, semis and finals, we'll have all the action for you live. Broadcast starting at around about 1 p.m. local time. Second run for this event will also be at 1:30 this afternoon. Again, local time. That's around about 3:30 in the morning, I think, in Europe or Central Europe. Ina Smith, Swiss athlete, born without forearms, so no use of ski poles in either side. And this twisting and turning, all done with that core body strength, really driving in to the turns. 54.70 through the second intermediate section, so just outside a minute of the second section. Just inside a minute, should I say. He has to set the time for the two Russian athletes, so let's take a look as she comes in. 1:22.12.
Time of Ina Schmidt is 1:22.12.
Дан старт Варвары Ворончихиной, номер 4, Россия.
This is Vronchikina then. Winner yesterday in the GS. Already some 1.5 seconds in front of Schmidt here in her first slalom run. Again, combined times, 2 runs together. And now well in front. According to the system, some 8 seconds here. Much quicker for the 19-year-old.
Финиширует Варвара Ворончихина, номер 4 из России. Показывает результат заезда 1:10.
12 seconds is the gap. On 10:10.
Is 1:10.10.
Very quick from the girl from Siberia. Working with the technical delegate there, Milan Bozic. Anastasia Gohorasheva is next up. showing us already 3 and a bit seconds down. Just the 3 women standing competitors, as I mentioned a little bit earlier. You fancy that Gorasheva being 3 and a bit seconds back means she won't get that back in the bottom half. In fact, she doesn't.
Финиширует Анастасия Хорошева под номером 5, Россия, и показывает результат заезда.
Through the line she comes then, 1:24.27. It will be Vronchikina, as it was yesterday in the giant slalom, that takes a lead into the second run. Vronchikina's time 1:10.10 in the end. Schmidt 1:22.12 was finally put in there. So that brings women's standing to an end, and that's the women's category over and done in general. No women's sit-skier today. Laurie Stevens deciding, quite rightly, take a day off. Not all of the skiers themselves comfortable with every single discipline. Andrew Kirker, for instance, not doing the men's sitting. Don't do slalom, was how he responded to me asking where he was. Don't do slalom. Much more American accent than that, obviously. We were going to debate the Andrew Kirker whistling today, and hopefully we're going to be joined by Andrew in the commentary box a little bit later on. So get your suggestions in. Use his Instagram or Twitter if you like, and we'll Paris No Sports as well on social media. We'll see if we can get him to give us a tune a little bit later on. Probably not on the microphone, to be fair. It never sounds good whistling. But yeah, just a great Andrew Kirker whistling debate was taking place on Instagram earlier on. Obviously the time difference between here and the US. One of the coaches was telling me there were some people watching from Colorado, really enjoying the coverage. Now, men's VI, vision impaired. For those unacquainted with the short version, Ivan Frantsev with Herman Agranovsky, Valery Vrkoshibov with Evgeny Goroyev. You've got Giacomo Bertagnoli with Andrea Ravelli on the list as well. He'll go last. Kreos and Kubachka, the 2 Slovakian athletes to come too. Just the 11 in the men's standing. And on the list, I've got Igor Sikorsky in the men's sitting, but he has got a bit of a bad shoulder from a fall earlier on in the week. I'm intrigued to see if Sikorsky indeed does make it out. Safety first and all that. Ivan Frantsev then to attack the course next. Seven-year-old. What a real grind into the slope, and that is going to slow you down no matter what. So Frantsev losing all manner of momentum. Will find it tough from here on in. So, following those instructions again. And the guide wearing bright colours, along with the instructions and the game plan, giving their skier the best possible opportunity to follow them down the mountain towards the final section. And here comes the line. Flailing the arms as he comes across. 105.87. That's the time to beat for everyone else. This is Barry Rekozhibov. Seven-year-old, lives in the Sochi area, which enables him to really take advantage. Oh, he was nearly gone there. Just about sneaked into that red pole. He was 0.21 ahead, but both of these Russians have had their difficulty with the home snow. 1.95 now. He did say that Frantsev really dug in deep at one point into the section of the course that's soaked in sunshine. Kozhubov shine brightest as he gets to the finish. Last few gates, he's really put the pedal to the metal, as you would say. 4.22 seconds is his lead. Koshubov will lead. How long for? Miroslav Hreos, who we saw crash out yesterday in the giant slalom. He will have the bit between his teeth. Miroslav. Marosvudik, his guide. And for those wondering, a little bit like athletics, where the runners use a guide, the guide does indeed get them, as well as the skier. So, just for those of you wondering about that now, Hreos 0.69 down. A second and a third in Prato Novoso, and Hreos again is sideways. Not the angle you want to be. If you start facing back up the mountain, you're doing it wrong at that point. And Hreos really had to fight to get back in line. Still within 0.56 again. Hreos all out of shape. You might have heard him yelp as well. How costly will that be? He does get the second run. But he would have wanted to have been in front of the two Russian athletes. He still should be in front of Frantsev, but Rekoshubov, no, he won't be. Second, Hreos 2.95 in the end, and that section with the wavy arms from Hreos proving the costliest. This is the one where he's not facing where he wants to be, and it really puts paid to his speed. A little bit after that, it wasn't pretty, but Hreos survives this time around. Now, our lowest classified athlete in this section. This is Marek Kubatska. It's fascinating to watch. Doesn't matter how many times I watch Marek Kubatska ski, it never fails to be inspiring. Following the sound and the instructions, the sound on the back, not just in the headset. Maria Zatovikova is the guide for Marek. And it is her responsibility, and certainly more difficult in this than any other, where the turning circle is so tight. Constantly manoeuvring this completely blind skier. Bearing in mind his goggles are blacked out, so absolutely no vision within this run for him. And Maria has to make sure he turns at the right time over and over again. And any big slides, she has to try and help him correct, but the skill levels from her in this just as insane. Having to constantly look behind herself, making sure she's got the right line, making sure she's got the right instructions, and making sure that Marek isn't missing gates. It's phenomenal. Enjoy. How quickly she has to change the instruction to help Marek manoeuvre. If you're an avid ski fan, try this on a flattish piece where you're not going to get hurt. You and a friend, somebody that you absolutely trust. Give it a go. Please be safe. But from me, give it a try and let us know at Paris Snowsport what you come up with, because not just here in Alpine, but in any forms of para-sport where VI athletes, vision impaired athletes, require assistance, whether it be a tapper in swimming or a guide in skiing or running. Phenomenal work from the guide, phenomenal work from the athlete. Insanely brilliant. Across the line they come. Marek Kubatska never fails to surprise. 1:20.53. You can hear the guide, Maria, out of breath. Doesn't stop talking the whole way down. Hard graft. And that's just run number one. Well done to the pair of them. Now here is the current leader of the slalom in the World Cup. Why is he the current leader? Well, 3 victories in Prato Novoso. Got disqualified in Kranjska Gora. You stick a ski the wrong side of the pole, straddling as it's called, then you're out. And it could be something as daft as that. With the VI athletes, there's a potential they don't even know they've done it. It could be something that they've just manoeuvred through, the guide not always looking behind them, perhaps not even realising they've missed the gate, having made the turn. But Bertagnoli, those 3 back-to-back victories in Prato Novoso, means that he does still have the leader's jersey in this one. Bib flying down the mountain belongs to the Italian. He's 0.33 behind here. Kozyubov at the moment sitting pretty. The experienced Russian. Has Bertagnoli got some speed in this bottom section? He looks good. 1:01.65. He's just ahead. Look at this. 7/100ths of a second. Oh, we're in for an almighty second run here. 7/100ths. And Haraeus in picture. There we go. There's the scoreboard they're all looking for. Bertagnoli will lead us in to the second run, but just 0.07 He's all that separates Italy and Russia, and it's this bottom section that Bertagnoli will have made the difference.
Perché alcune erano proprio spaccate. Poi nel piano buono sei sembrato. Devi puoi spingere un pelo di più. Sì, ho sbagliato. Okay.
So Bertagnoli and Ravelli
Abbiamo fatto secondo me
take a slender lead into the second run. Men standing coming up in a moment, but Bertagnoli 101.58, Koshibov 101.65, Areos 104.60, Frantsev and Kubatska behind them.
1:65. Time of Miroslav Haraush, bib number 8 from Slovakia, 1 minute 4.60. Time of Marek Kubachka from Slovakia, bib number 9 is 1 minute 20.53. Time of Giacomo Bertagnoli from Italy, bib 10 is 1 minute 1.58. Standing men group are preparing for the start.
Just to look back at some of the action from the men's VI here in the slalom. Now men standing. Kushin, Kush, Walsh, Alabiev, Ivory, Wood, Field, Grocha, Prijancic, Salka, Alexandrov. This is Alexei Mankushin. Use of the ski pole in the right arm, a left arm amputee from 2007, 21-year-old. Barging to one side constantly with the right hand, even on a left turn, just to keep the pole out of the face. You don't want to see the damage that these poles do at speed when they whack you in the face. So the skiers themselves make sure just to bat away, whether it be with the shins or the arm, depending on how close they can get. Makushin goes 109.32.
Time of Alexei Mikushin is 1 minute 9.32.
No Robin Kushin, no number 12 on our list. Thomas Walsh, yesterday's giant slalom victor. The man whose smile yesterday was wider than he is tall. He was talking on social media about being the shortest athlete on the circuit. Reminded him that he has one of the biggest hearts, and dedicated his victory yesterday to the Schifrin family. Oh, and Walsh will be furious after yesterday. That will have irked him, and look at that. Just see, if there was a plate to smash at that point, he'd have got it. However, he's kept it inside a little bit. But the frustration there for all to see. As I was saying yesterday, he had a message for the Schifrin family, a huge help to him through his treatment, and they're having a rough time of their own, but Walsh just getting caught up on one of the poles. They'll be back to fight another day, just not this afternoon. This is Alexander Alabiev. A couple of third place finishes and a fifth in Pratanovoso. He is ahead. Kiveri of Finland is the World Cup leader. He comes next. 3 straight wins in Pratanovoso. Only managed third in Kranjska. This is good from Alabiev. Well ahead of Makishin's time. Alabiev just stretches towards the line. 3.90 his lead. Is that quick enough to hold off Santeri Kiveri? We'll find out in a second, but certainly from Alabiev's point of view, it's enough to lead for now. Here is the leader. Tucked inside the bib, as is standard process for Santeri. Goes through his lucky process, and Kiveri brings his youthful speed to the mountain here in Sakhalin. In terms of the World Cup, we fancy a victory here will all but seal up the World Cup for the slalom. From Lapin Ranta. Moving through nicely. Oh, until that point. There you go. Well, Kiveri might be the World Cup leader, but he, like Thomas Walsh, will have to be frustrated. Looks back up to see just where it all went wrong. And Alabiev will be able to start to wonder whether this is his time. Spencer Wood now, the last of the Americans in the competition. No Kirker and Stevens. Wood going, knowing that Walsh is out. Can he find enough tricks and turns for a podium place? It's proving tough already for Spencer. Previous section, the battles he's had meant that he's now 4.97 seconds behind on the current leader, Alabiev. Just gone past where Kiveri went out, so small victories. Spencer Wood into the final section. Shouldn't make a mistake from here, and he won't. He just tries to give himself a little surge. 6.58 seconds back, so he's behind Makushin.
Time of Spencer Wood from USA is 1 minute.
Only 5 to go. There's a smile, though, from Spencer Wood. Now, Thomas Field. From Switzerland. Diagnosed with hemiplegia, just the age of 6 months. His impairment affects the right side of his body. .45 up, but another that's had to start really digging into the side of the mountain to maintain the upright position. Can he do enough? 1.55. Alabiev has been in the leader box for a little while. Can Thomas Field finish this course without error to go top? Field looking good. 105.42. He's there. Dropped a little towards the end. Thomas Field felt that, but he knows when he looks at this scoreboard in a second that he's now top, with only 4 to come. I won't ask him how he's feeling. I think the noises say it all. Thomas Grocha. Single leg skier, born without femur and fibula bones of the left leg. Customs officer when he's not out on the mountains. A silver medalist in the slalom back in Treviso in 2017 at the World Championship, so he has the pedigree. Oh, he's going to have to fight there. Those skiers who ski on single leg have much different issues than those with arm impairment, should I say, and that is obvious there a moment ago from Grocha. The manoeuvrability at times so tough on that singular ski. And you see his frustration. It was going all right. You had about a second out in the opening stage. Just here, the left thigh just catching the gate too much, and the post brings him down. Spencer Woods just said to him that was brutal. He's just in front of Wood, but he is behind Field, Alabiev and Makushin. And Niko Pajancic has time to put some, or a chance to put some pressure on the leader of the World Cup here. He was second twice behind Kiveri in Pratonovoso. He was also fourth in Kranjska Gora. So he and Alabiev have the most to gain by Kiveri going out. What they don't want to do is emulate that. .4 seconds the gap. .214 would put him in third position. Anything inside 5 seconds, just about, gets him a podium place. Kushin's time behind Phil is 4.98 seconds. So Briancic has a target here. If he's not going to get top, what he wants to be is less than 5 seconds out. Can he do that? Yes, he can. 104.34. Not quite touching distance of the top two, but also a nice gap between third and fourth this time around. So well done, Niko Briancic. Thomas Phil, the victor so far on slalom day. Thomas Grocha frustrated. Marcus Salcher to come. There he is. Already a winner here in Sakhalin on day 3. And Salcher come up with something to put pressure onto Thomas Phil. Only 0.15 down, but he has just slowed dramatically. The Austrian trying to slice through the gates as speedily as possible. Coming up to the second intermediate time in a moment. We'll certainly see just how close he is. He's dropped, as I said, he got real slow in that previous section. After the first time check, seemed to lose all manner of momentum. And that now means that he is some 2.5 seconds back as well. Briancic in third, 2.81 off the top. Salcher to get somewhere near a podium place after the first run. Needs something in this bottom section. Lunging towards the line. Oh, he's done really well in that bottom section. And that middle part will really frustrate Marcus Salcher. And that gives him something to fight for in the second run. Lost all momentum in the second part, but somehow has picked up speed enough to come within 0.44. It's brilliant from the Austrian in the end. It's Phil from Salcher. Oh, Abiev must be wondering how on earth Marcus Salcher has made that up. Sergei Alexandrov. Very much learning for Alexandrov on the bigger stage. Double leg amputee due to a bad break whilst out climbing. It's also led to frostbite in both legs as well. Since the amputation, he's got into skiing. Since getting into skiing, he's decided to give it a go for the World Cup, where you test yourself and see just how quick you can manoeuvre through these gates. And Alexandrov learning all about a new life since his acquirement of impairment. Not only coping with day-to-day life, but battling the slopes here and around Europe during this World Cup series. Don't forget Norway and Sweden are next up on the list, with Sweden being the home of the World Cup finals this season. I believe Norway being the host of the World Championships next year. Alexandrov gets through. There's a huge cheer at the bottom from the rest of the athletes. Alexandrov completes his run. My understanding is that there is no Igor Sikorsky at the start gate for the men's sitting event, so that should just about conclude the action. We'll have a look at Kivri's run in just a moment. But the man who was the leader went out unable to extend that lead. It's Thomas Field that does lead the way. Markus Salka's bottom half of the run was breathtaking and means that he was within 0.44 in the end, having been more than a second and a half back. The leader currently of the World Cup out this time around. So too Walsh. Those two will be disappointed not to be back. Here's the leader of the World Cup so far. He just catches the gate, and that takes his ski from him. I tell you what, good homing beacon on the ski though. Straight back to where it belongs. Look at that. There we go. Well, that's enough of the first run. We'll take a look back at the results, and we'll see what the current standings mean as we head towards the second run. In the women's VI, the battle of the two Russian ladies is being led by Yulia Mosova. Flegel not too far behind. The women's standing. Vronchikina is on for back-to-back victories after giant slalom success. She leads from Schmidt and Gorasheva. In the men's VI category, no surprise that Giacomo Bertagnoli is leading, but not by much. Koshubov 101.65 means that those two will have an interesting battle. Hareos leads the rest. Men's standing, Thomas Field coming in with a 104.34. Salka's 104.78 puts him in second. Alabiev leads by a couple of seconds on Pajancic, who has that similar gap to Makushin as well. The World Cup leader out of the slalom. Santeri Kiveri, not his day. It's not the end of our day either. Second run starts at 1:30 local time. The broadcast will be on from around about 1:20. Make sure you join us, but for now, goodbye.